It's been a turbulent year for the UK's wholesaling sector, but especially so for one of the industry's key players, AAH Pharmaceuticals.
Good afternoon, reception.
Following the dismissal of Steve Dunn, the company has handed the reins to Mark James. One of his key priorities will be to ensure that the company can adjust to a rapidly changing wholesale sector.
I've come here to AAH's Coventry headquarters to meet Mark James and find out his plans for the company.
With wholesalers now looking to serve both their pharmacy customers and pharmaceutical companies under the new distribution models, it's a challenging scenario. So how will Mr. James find the right balance between the two?
With the current marketplace, we've also got to look the other way as well, as far as our supply chain is concerned, and look at the way in which we've been dealing with manufacturers and suppliers. And I think in 2008 we are going to be looking at how we do that. Have we got the balance right between which direction we're looking in the supply chain, and primarily how do we link the two? Because I think AAH's role is going to be much more about how do you link the manufacturer through to the dispensing side. DTP actually is really only one part of the equation now, because there's only 3 even now that are looked at full DTP. The actual changes in distribution models are far more varied than that, and we're now having to put up with that area as well, where people are saying, well, actually we don't want to go DTP, but we've got a set of objectives that we need to achieve. What we've now found is that with some of the other manufacturers you can achieve those objectives without having to go to a DTP model. So the key really is information. The key is, can you control the information flows, can you control what's going on, and have you got the right to know or direct where a product ends up. What I think will change in the future is dependent upon how much tighter the situation gets financially. We will need to be much more focused on what we deliver as a service. I don't think it means cutting them back, it just means if we produce a service, let's make sure somebody actually thinks it's useful. And I think if you look back over many years, and maybe not in the last few, but wholesalers would produce things because it was the next new initiative, not because it necessarily delivered anything for the customer. It's services that we would want to deliver, that we believe pharmacy would find beneficial, but that a manufacturer would also think was beneficial to them and is therefore prepared to co-invest with us on. Hopefully we'll start to see service development being driven by the NHS, but in the meantime there's a lot of pharmacy customers out there who want to get on and do some of this stuff, and it needs to be developed on. So yes, there is some saving in fuel costs because you don't pay for the stem mileage. As I say, if you take the total costing, however, somewhere along the line someone's got to hold more stock if you're doing less deliveries. And that's spread around 12,000 delivery points instead of however many warehouses it is now. It's, yes, if you want to model it economically, you can put arguments on both sides. I'm just saying that when we modelled it, it's not as big a saving as anybody thinks. In fact, once you take into account the total cost of it, we're fairly happy that we can compete with anybody and still give 2 deliveries a day. AAH is structured in such a way that clearly we can continue on, and we'd be negligent if we weren't able to continue on. Any one of us could be knocked down by a bus tomorrow, and if the company couldn't continue on without that, then it would be a problem. Specifically, however, when you talk about Steve being the head of AAH, clearly he was. He was here 8 years. I knew him for the entire time he was here. I was here before he arrived, so I've known him from day one. We worked closely together throughout that entire period. I think he contributed a tremendous amount to AAH. I think he contributed a tremendous amount to the industry. So clearly, you know, his contribution to AAH is immense. It's a possibility. It would be wrong, however, to say that because we're automated that we can do that, because our automation isn't designed to produce one-off scripts. It's designed to produce what we call it bespoke tote boxes, because they've got 100 items inside them, and that's what the automation is designed for. So if ever it became feasible, it wouldn't be something we do with a current warehouse, because it just doesn't work. The retail division focuses on being a dispensing pharmacy and retailer. We focus on being a wholesaler and moving the product. The synergy element is difficult to see where that crossover is for us. The area where we may see more of a synergy is with our solutions division. Solucio set up a third division called Solutions. Within that we have a company called Movianto, and from a manufacturer point of view it's potentially possible that you could see some combined offers being made to manufacturers around Movianto offering a certain distribution solution and AAH being a part of that solution.